Dun, 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 dun. It's time. Huh? We haven't done this yet, but we went back to the theaters, Paul and I, just the other day. Only classic movies were playing. Luckily this week, new movies are starting to pop up in theaters again. Can't wait for that, but we saw an all-time favorite. We saw a classic. Many people out there would say the best Star Wars movie ever. An Empire Strikes Back. What did we think of it after all these years seeing it back in theaters? Well, Mark didn't see it. We did. We're going to see if we can link our minds to see if we come up with some kind of cohesive story of what it's like to see Empire Strikes Back in theaters today. So here's an idea. Mark, you didn't get a chance to get out and see it.
No.
But you've seen it on the...
I didn't get the invitation, quite honestly.
You were in Nova Scotia.
I still would have went.
So, Empire Strikes Back, your nostalgia, thoughts on the movie. You remember it as what? What would you think now?
It's been so long
has.
since I've seen the movie. I remember loving it. I remember the ice world, the snowy planet they were on. I remember the Tauntauns, and I remember the AT-ATs. Luke in the cave with the lightsaber and cutting down the big abominable snowman type monster that captured them. I remember them cutting open the Tauntaun and hiding inside for warmth.
What you just described
is the first
9 minutes of the movie.
I know, it's crazy.
In a 2 hour and 20 minute movie.
But I remember some awesome effects, like when they're flying their spacecrafts around and intertwining in the AT-AT's legs to trip them over, in the speeders. All those, like, obviously, like I said, it's been a long time since I've actually sat down to watch it. But these are the things that stand out in my mind when I think of Empire Strikes Back.
So everybody, if you were growing up back then and you saw Star Wars as a young person or a teenager, you've got those nostalgic glasses on, right? Like beer goggles, right? Where you have this thought in your mind, that was the greatest movie I ever saw! And now we get to see it in theaters again.
I wish I could have seen it on the big screen again.
It's still there. It's still playing.
Oh, maybe I'll go.
We managed to see it. We saw it in the big screen, surround sound. What were your impressions, Paul?
It was still really good. I had to remember that it was still a 1980 movie. It was 1980, right?
Yep.
And you could really see that. Sorry. You could really see that with the effects of the Tauntaun. Okay, because
is it like stop motion?
Yeah, it's a stop
in
motion
some places, yeah.
like claymation almost kind of thing. You could see it in the puppetry of the monster you talked to, the snow monster.
Oh yeah, when I watched that, I went, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Like it was that bad.
And while the AT-AT attack was really cool, what you remember as cool with the speeders flying through and attacking, you're thinking, well, it's not a really good attack, and it looks kind of cheesy the way...
Is that right? Just the flight patterns?
Yeah, it wasn't really good. But then you have Yoda show up in Dagobah, and you're thinking, this is a little puppet thing, and we're used to like really realistic CGI. But it was so funny.
Yeah.
Like it was really
more comedic.
It was a good fun time, and you're able to tear yourself away from knowing it's a puppet to saying, oh, that's Yoda and he's such a card kind of thing.
Right.
So those were the things that struck me while watching it again on the big screen for the first time in a long time.
Right. Okay.
There's more to say, of course, of the movie, but I imagine you felt the same way.
I did. There were a lot of the scenes, like when they're escaping Hoth, right? And there's, don't worry, our ion cannon will clear away and shoot, and all of a sudden you see a big Star Destroyer coming over, and you have a transport and 2 X-Wings. And it goes, and it hits the starfighter, and it goes like this, and they fly by it. And I'm going, don't those things hold like 1,000 TIE fighters in those things, yet they don't have any out flying around? And then all of a sudden, they're gone. and there's no blockade. Everybody can just fly away.
They said they'd take care of it. They took care of it.
Well, no, they arrived. There are a whole bunch of TIE fighters. Then the first group tries to escape, and they have the ion cannon, and there's no TIE fighters anywhere. And then Luke has to leave the planet, and there's no blockade whatsoever.
There's no Star Destroyers anymore in the space.
And then when the Millennium Falcon tries to leave, the blockade's back.
Yeah, and they're even having a conversation. Where are you going? I'm off to do this. I'll see you guys later. And he flies off, and I'm like, all right. But here's the difference now that we're going to talk. When you're talking intriguing story and plot, compared to every other Star Wars movie, like after the first trilogy that came out, they thought this through. Like they wrote a story and put special effects and fighting and that around it, right? There were like little scenes when Han and them they're walking in. They think they're going into dinner and a meeting, and they open up the door and Darth Vader's sitting there. And Han Solo's first reaction is the gun comes up and he starts shooting. Mm-hmm. There's no explanation. It's pure action, pure reaction.
Right.
In the new movies,
they would have a conversation.
Oh, look who's there! I'm gonna bring out my Starghelm! And that's what they would do, and that's not how you write movies. Yeah. They react. That's everybody's. He's a fighter. He reacted. That was perfect. But yeah, there were still some things in this movie that you go, well, okay. Now that I think about it, that's pretty dumb.
But you know what? Once they passed Hoth, and you had the terrible special effects there, and Yoga was the puppet, all the other special effects were fantastic. Like watching the Star Destroyers, the TIE Fighters, the spaceships at Cloud City, the inside of Cloud City, all of that was really well done.
Yeah.
It looked real.
You know what I think they're gonna do, and maybe not what I think they're going to do. What I think what they should do is reshoot all 3 of the first original trilogy with the deepfake technology. Just reshoot it to today's filming standards.
We don't need Disney to mess anything else up.
I'm telling you,
I don't want it. I don't want it.
What you said about storytelling, I really liked that they were able to go through, like when they land at Cloud City, you instantly knew that there was unspoken backstory between Lando and
they didn't have to tell you.
And Han. Yeah, they didn't have this narrative where they just exposition, you have to think, oh, what was going on there?
Yeah.
And when Darth Vader is in the room and Lando says, I'm sorry, buddy, like they got here just before you. You started picturing what it was like when the Empire came to Cloud City and said, this is what's going to happen and you're going to do this.
Right.
So you have all this backstory that's playing around in your head that's not even on the film.
Yeah.
You don't get that anymore.
That's true.
Yeah. And they did. At no point in this did they try and explain anything, like the Force. At one point, you see the general apologizing. I'm going to apologize to Darth Vader in person. And the next thing you think, he's up against the wall, being held on the ground, and he falls over. There's no hey, how did he do that? Oh, midichlorians were throughout his body, and he used them to. There was none of that. It just you figured it out. The story told us.
I liked some of the comedy where, you did not want the promotion to Admiral because you're going to mess up and Darth Vader's going to kill you.
You're going to make a mistake and then you're going to die.
Do not disappoint me again, Admiral. That's all. That's one line says more than most of the new movies' entire dialogues. Ray! That's not writing. Yelling Ray is not dialogue.
Yeah.
So there were plot, like if you actually look, there were little plot holes here and there, but the movie as a whole is still good today.
Darth Vader versus Luke in that final battle with the lightsabers on the big screen, and then the epic line that you're always waiting for, and you're thinking, wow, the first time that people heard this, it must have blown their minds.
I remember seeing this opening day, first showing. I had stood in line for a full day to get that ticket, me and 4 friends. We were in the front row where I used to always see the movies, and everybody in the audience screamed, and everybody was loving
They screamed for I'm your father?
Yeah, because there were rumors about what's going to happen, and all of a sudden he said, Luke, everyone, because people love Darth Vader, people love Luke, and we were nearing the end of the movie. So they knew this was going to lead into the next movie.
I mean, for back then, though, what a twist. Like, for back then.
Yeah.
Although,
and
you know,
there was no
Darth
social
Vader.
media.
Well, yeah, but how did you speak?
No, German.
Yeah, did you speak German? No.
But there's no social media to ruin it for 100% of
Yeah.
the people out there.
Yeah. No, nobody in Switzerland saw the movie before we did and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was very happy that that was the movie we ended up choosing. We chose out of 5 classic movies. We could have saw Jurassic Park. We could have saw Batman. We could have saw, I think Superman was playing or a Spider-Man. But we went with good old Star Wars once again. And I was not disappointed. I enjoyed seeing it on the big screen. In fact, I wish they would just play the trilogy. And I would go and watch the trilogy
all the
in
way
theater.
through.
And not the remake trilogy where they added in extra CGI animals and stuff like that.
It's very difficult to find the
That was
actual original cut.
Yeah, but this was. There was no extra added CGI, which I really liked. Well, that's our review of Empire Strikes Back. It still holds up today. In fact, I will take that movie over any of the other 6 that came after it. Even today. Decades later. That is amazing writing. George, what happened? Well,
Kathleen Kennedy.
and George for the prequels, right? Well, I hope you liked this video. Let us know, what did you guys think? Is Empire Strikes Back the best Star Wars? Or did you like one of the others even more? Let us know what you think. Until next time, maybe check out some other content down here below, and we'll see you on the channel.